Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's good, YouTube? Y'all know what it is, man. This your boy Tank be chopping, back with another haircut video. Check it out, man. We gonna be doing some shears on top, low fade. You know what I'm saying? I've been actually doing free haircuts for new clients. So if you're in the Houston, Texas area and you want a haircut, come holler at your boy, man. I'm doing free haircuts. Make sure I get some content. Just tip me what you want. But nonetheless, man, going back into this video, as you can see, we saturated the top of my client's hair, getting it nice and saturated. I am using that new Stylecraft mist bottle water sprayer. I don't know what it's called, but it's from Stylecraft. If you want to purchase this, stylecraftus.com. Use my discount code TANK10 on that website. But now we're gonna pull up a section of hair and I'm setting in my initial guideline. So now I'm gonna follow this guideline all the way back. Every piece of hair that I pull up, I'm making sure that it's matching that guideline. Anything that's longer than that initial guideline, I'm making sure I cut off. And I made sure I recorded this at this angle. That way y'all can get a better visual of how I do my shear cuts. Cause y'all been asking me to post more shear cuts. So, you know, I had to get these clients in here to show you how to do the shears. Now I'm doing the same thing, just coming, my sections are coming the opposite way, but I still have that initial guideline on the very left of my fingers, the back side of my fingers, and anything, once again, longer than that hair, I'm making sure that I cut off. And we're just gonna basically do this all through the top of the client's head and into that crown area. And then we're gonna go over it a couple times, making sure we get it all down to that length. You know, as you can see, we cut off a good amount of my client's hair, but I still wanna make sure that it's nice and even. We are gonna be combing it back and doing a low fade, like I said earlier. But nonetheless, man, as you can see, this is how I do my shear work, man. Like I said, I know y'all been asking me, so I'm putting this out there for y'all. So y'all make sure to like this video, comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. Share with some of your friends who need some help doing shear work, right? And now we're moving on to the opposite side, just showing y'all a different angle. Once again, anything longer than that guideline that I put in from the very get-go, I'm making sure that I cut off. And I'm just basically going over everything, doing some cross-checking, making sure everything is that length. All right, man, but now that we're done with cutting the top with shears, I'm gonna go ahead and start some of my fade work. So I'm actually gonna start off by debulking. This is my number 4 guard. I am using the new Tomb 45 and Babyless clipper. If you wanna purchase this, you can go to tomb45.com. Use my discount code TANK on that website, or go to fwbarbersupply.com, discount code TANK10 on that website. But as you can see, I'm debulking the sides with the number 4 guard, floating my clipper, basically just setting, setting the shape for this haircut, right? And then we're gonna be doing the same exact thing on this side. Once again with that number 4 guard, just setting up the shape, setting everything how we wanna do it, taking that 4 as high as we're really gonna go before we actually start blending, right? So anything that I cut off more higher than this 4 is basically gonna be like shear over comb or clipper over comb, just to kind of connect the side to the top. But that's why I'm floating my clipper here, just to make sure that it does fade in and blend well and just, just mesh with the top really well. And this is still like the first week, maybe the second week of me using these guards. I want to say it was still that first week. It was like the second or third day. So we still kind of learning the guard system, but I think we mastered it a little better on this video. But what I'm doing now is I'm taking my number 3 guard and I'm coming right below what I just did with that number 4 guard, like literally right below it. Still trying to fade though, so I don't want to create any harsh lines. So that's why I am still floating the clipper, using the corner of my clipper at times, just trying to blend into that number 4. That way now I really only got to blend into number 3. Once we got that done, we're gonna go ahead and take our trimmers. These are the Stylecraft Sabers, punching in my initial guideline. And I could have used the Babyless Tomb 45 ones, just for whatever reason, I just grabbed these. He is an aspiring barber. I actually gave him some clippers after the video, but he's an aspiring barber, so we were just talking about clippers and such, barbering stuff. So I just grabbed whatever clippers were closer, or whatever trimmers were closer to me. But nonetheless, as you can see, we're setting in our guideline for our low fade. And this is how I typically do most of my low fades. I bring it up above the ear, like barely, and then I drop it down below the occipital bone in the back. And this is how I do like 99% of my low fades, unless, people ask me for otherwise. And then, we want to make sure that this haircut lasts. So now I'm taking my Babyless shaver, getting it all down to that shaver length. The closer I get to the bald guideline, I'm trying to not put as much pressure, and I'm using a slight flick out motion. Once again, if you're interested in this shaver, you can go to fwbarbersupply.com, discount code TANK10 on that website. All right, so now what I'm doing here is I'm actually doing a little bit of down fading. This is my number, I believe this is my 2 guard. I don't want to lie to y'all, but I think this is my 2 guard, and I'm just blending into that number 3. And then now I'm taking my 1.5 guard, and I'm basically now blending into that number 2. So I wanted to do a little bit of down fading because I didn't want to raise this fade, and I really wanted to keep this fade, you know, as low as I could, but still keep it nice and transitional. That way the gradients just looked, it just had a nice shade of gradients when I was done with it. So that's why I do a little bit of down fading. I typically do more down fading when I want to make sure I don't take the haircut high. So if you're taking your haircuts too high, you may want to try down fading. But now with that being done, I'm gonna go ahead and start fading up a little bit. So I'm basically sandwiching the blend. I'm using my clipper all the way open, setting in my next guideline in the same shape that I created my initial bald guideline. And then once we get this next guideline in there, we're gonna start to try to blend this section out. And what I mean by that is we're gonna basically close our lever halfway, start working our way halfway into the section, and then close it notch by notch, working our way down. And then I may do a little bit of lever play, adjusting my lever as needed, just to, you know, hit up certain dark spots, hit up certain areas that I feel look lighter or darker than the rest of this section. So sometimes that is going to be a problem that you're going to have to face, is different densities in sections of the hair. So you're going to have to know to adjust your lever as needed. And this is something that comes with, you know, barbering, you know, the experience, the barber's eye. You know, typically a lot of people just do the same exact length, you know, through the whole section, but sometimes you got to do different lengths to make sure it matches, especially if they have higher density areas or like little grooves in their head. But now that we got that done, that lever open section, we're taking our 1 guard with the lever open, blending into what we previously did. So it may leave a slight guideline or a slight line of demarcation, but we're gonna blend that out here in a second, right? So 1 guard open, and then we're gonna adjust, I believe we adjust our lever close. I don't wanna lie to y'all, but I think I adjust my lever close to start attacking this bottom line in that section. Yeah, so I'm going to halfway closed and then all the way closed. And the reason why I did halfway before all the way closed is, once again, I was still learning these guards, and I wanted to be really precise with what I was doing. Sometimes, you know, you may take off too much hair, so I was just trying to be more careful, especially since this was a new client. This was my first time cutting his hair. I wanted to be a little more careful with how I attack this haircut. Now here is our half guard, 0.5 guard, whatever you want to call it, adjusting our lever little by little, trying to blend that section out. And as you can see, the blend looks better. It's not 100% done. We're still gonna have to do some detail work, but as you can see, the blend looks a lot better. It's still nice and low. We do got a little bit of, you know, a couple lines of, you know, some weight, and we're gonna go and do some clipper over comb here in a minute. But now I'm just going in with my clipper no guard once again, adjusting my lever, basically doing a little bit of detail work, trying to clean up some of these discrepancies, some of these dark areas in the blend that I see. And once again, guys, when you're doing this, make sure you use the mirrors. The mirrors are going to be your best friend. Sometimes you may even have to like move on to the edge up or move on to the opposite side of the head and then come back to see some of these dark lines. And then, like I stated earlier, we are going to be doing a little bit of clipper over comb just to try to tie that number 4 guard and lower into the length on top. Now, even though I did do some flow in the clipper and I blended with that 4 guard, there are going to be certain areas and some areas that are just a little more darker, a little more denser. So I wanted just to go back in and touch it up with clipper over comb, and to show y'all that this clipper does well with clipper over comb. But yeah, man, that's why we're doing this here. And then once I finished off that, I'm just going back in and doing some small detail work. Remember, I don't think this haircut was 100% done yet. I could have moved on to the edge up, but I seen some discrepancies in the lower part of this blend. So I believe this is my 1.5 guard or my 2 guard. I think it's my 1.5. Yeah, it was my 1.5 guard. And now I'm with my 1 guard doing some lever play. And remember, lever play is just adjusting your lever notch by notch, or open, close, halfway, however you want to do your lever play. You know what I'm saying? You just got to do lever play on a lot of haircuts. That's a major key when it comes to detailing. And then I'm going to be doing the same exact thing with the 0.5 guard. I will say this, man. These green guards from 245, they work really well with curly hair, like African American hair. They work really well with. Not saying they don't work well with every hair, but I think like they really feed African American hair into the clipper better. But nonetheless, moving on into the lineup. As you can see now, I'm using that 245 clipper, punching in that lineup. I did have to move my blade back a little bit because my man Dennis gapped it really close and it was starting to irritate some of my clients. So I wanted to make sure I pushed that blade back. That way it didn't irritate my clients. But as y'all can see, it's getting the job done. It's lining up nicely, right? But when it comes to lining up, I like to take my time. I'm not the quickest and best at lineup, so I have to really take my time and really do like little strokes at a time. Like it's like a chisel. Like I'm just chiseling away, taking a step back, looking at it, then going back, hitting it up again, chiseling it a little bit away, going back and looking at it. And that just works best for me, because if I do it any other way, it won't be a nice lineup, right? So I'm just trying to really take my time and get this lineup to look as sharp as I can get it. Shout out to my man right here, man. I ain't gonna lie, I forgot his name. But if you're watching this video, man, comment down below, bro. I appreciate you for coming through. Once we got that edge up in, you know how your boy does it. I like to go back in, do a little bit of detail work. One guard, adjusting my lever as closed, or as needed. Half guard, adjusting my lever, doing some lever play once again. And then we are gonna add some enhancements. I didn't record the other side of the haircut, but I did the same thing, right? But nonetheless, we are using my favorite barber enhancements. You can purchase this from fwbarbersupply.com. Use that discount code TANK10 on that website if you're gonna purchase this. That way you can save yourself some money, right? But nonetheless, man, and I do wanna say that I forgot to record the finish, like the actual finished product of the haircut. I messed up when I was doing something, so my bad. But now we're moving on to the lineup. As you can see, we're just using that razor, getting everything sharp, going over everything we did with that trimmer to make sure everything is nice and on point. It's nice and on point. I hope I said that right. And then once again, man, I didn't record the finish, like the full finished product. Like you're gonna see me turn them in the camera, but when I tried recording the actual finished product, my camera wasn't in focus. I don't know what I did, but y'all let me know what y'all think about this haircut down in the comment section. If y'all like this video, please make sure to smash that like button. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe one time for your boy. Remember, guys, if you're in the Houston, Texas area and want a haircut from your boy, you can go to my website, tankbchopping.com. You can book there. We're just adding some Johnny B hair gel in his hair. You know, we got to style it up a little bit and then comb it back, try to make it look nice.
I changed the code on 8 this morning.
Check it out, man.
Thank you, Stephen. They were right.
Good.
Now hand me that
That boy said it was the best low fade he ever got. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this cut, man. Remember, if y'all want any discount on tools, you can go to fwbarbersupply.com. Use my discount code TANK10. But with that being said, man, I appreciate y'all for watching. Until next time, let's go.